Mercedes here with She Critiques in Atlanta. So the show is definitely coming back around after a lot of hot button issues have been throughout the last 2 years with BLM, post BLM, and with athletes kind of taking a stance with mental health awareness. Can you talk about why it's important for you now to incorporate that, and what topics will we see discussed now in this series?
The beauty of what our show is and what the show represents is the fabric of America. Football is still the cornerstone of our American experience. People still gather around their televisions every Sunday to watch 100 and something million people actually to watch football. So unfortunately for us, we were able to ingrain this show in not only just culture, in the currency of what's happening in today's times. As you said, athletes are on the forefront of what's happening socially in our lives. So we're so fortunate to be able to tell stories currently. Thankfully, the show came back again, and in a time where football and athletes are on the forefront of everything that we're experiencing as African Americans, particularly. So I think, thankfully, Devon was able to come in, and then you can speak more to this, Devon, and expose us to this new world that we live in, that athletes are they're at the forefront, they're at the precipice of what we're doing in our lives. So, Devon, I don't know if you want to speak to that, buddy.
Yeah, let the head writer write.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you guys for inviting us into this forum. We really appreciate it. One of the things that we wanted to do when we brought the show back was, have the funny, have the fun. We always say it's, the familiarity if you're coming in from the old of it and know what it was, but there's a freshness and a newness to it, familiar but fresh, if you're opening your eyes either as an old viewer or as a new viewer to see what it is. And one of the things as a writer that I love doing so much is, and I always challenge the concept, that we're talking about hot button issues, because I think we're talking about life. Now, if my life happens to have a hot button issue tied to it, then so be it. Because that's the dynamic of what it is, because so many of us have that either in our rear view, our side view, in our family, or inside of our hearts and who we are. So it just touches on so I don't want to preach to you. I don't want to preach at you. I don't want to talk at you. I just think these issues, these subjects, these subject matters are ingrained in so many different perspectives of who we are, that they just come through the series. And I don't think we sit down and like the show that we just did. We don't sit down and say, oh, you should say this or you shouldn't say the N-word or blah, blah, blah. It happened, we deal with it, other things happen, we keep moving, because that's what happens to us. We don't get,
right.
20 days all down and talk about, oh, somebody followed me in the market and thought I was stealing something. No, it happened. Boom, I got to go deal with it. That's life. Now I got to go take care of my kids and love on my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have an opportunity to talk about them? Yes. Will we talk about them? Yes, but we'll talk about them in context of who we are in this world and in this dynamic. And, they won't always be, and one of the things, and I'll wrap this up quickly, but one of the things that I always try to do is get a multi-pronged perspective. Do I agree with everything that we write? No. Do I disagree with everything we write? No, but there are so many layers. And for so long, African Americans and that we were a monolith. You have to believe this, you have to believe that, you can't challenge this, it can't be different here. We can have the same thought process and same experiences and come out with different perspectives. And that's kind of one of the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to challenge that in a way that we're not saying, yo, we're talking about it and this and believe this. But we're just going through that on a daily basis and on a show-by-show basis.
If I could piggyback off of what Devon and Hosea said, I think something that was interesting that you brought up in the question is that after these 2 years, and during these 2 years, a lot of us, we weren't able to go outside. So social media, watching television, but seeing the behind the scenes of celebrities, of athletes, of entertainers, we were like glued to our phone. That was our drama, that was our entertainment. So now the timeliness of the show coming out, where the things that we saw, like as far as any sex scandals, anybody saying anything on Twitter that was controversial, anything in the news that came up in the entertainment or athletic world, I'm happy that the fact that these factors are being brought into the show, because it's something that's real. It's something that now we have a public eye on, and it's something that we can address and see the issues and really have conversations about it. So I think the timeliness of bringing the game back and not just having a very smooth or glossy view on it, and actually showing some real controversial things is the timeliness of where we are with our athletes, with our entertainers.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you so much.